Hello everyone, and welcome back to Dominion. I'm Kale, and if this is your first time watching, I create educational videos on the world of Hero Wars Mobile. Today, we're going to talk about how to create a Discord server for your guild. This is an extra little bonus that goes along with the last two videos I did, part 1 and part 2 of a beginner's guide on how to lead a guild. I'm going to focus on the two different versions of Discord, desktop and mobile separately, because there are some differences between the two. So we're going to start with desktop. The first thing you want to do is create a Discord account. So if you haven't done that, go and do that. Go to discord.com. You just need an email and a password. Once you've done that, you can move on to step 2. Step 2 is actually creating the server. So that's pretty easy. Just press this add a server button, click create a server, then you can name your server whatever you want. I'm going to name it Andromeda after my guild. I spelled that wrong. Andromeda. And then you can also add an icon for your channel. You can always do this later from the channel settings. I'm not going to do it right now for the sake of time. Okay, so that's basically it. Now you have your server. There are a few things you want to do before you can call it done though. The first thing you want to do is add a couple more channels. So you have a general channel, and that can be for general chat. So you want to press the add a channel button, and then go ahead and add a guild war chat, a rewards chat, a tactics chat, and if you want to, a guild war assignments chat. You don't have to. And there you go. That's a pretty basic, fleshed out amount of channels. Obviously, general is going to be just for general talking and stuff. Guild War is going to be for talking about Guild War. Guild War assignments is for assigning targets in Guild War. If you don't know how to assign targets, you can go ahead and watch part 2 of my beginner's guide to being a guild leader, which we talk about defense and assigning champions in there. So I'll put the link in the description down below. Also, if you don't like the way that the text channels are oriented, you can drag them and move them around. For your rewards channel, that's just for typing in the daily reward locations, and tactics is for talking about different hero tactics and whatnot. This alone, these 5 channels, will give you enough to get started. I think as you go on, you might want to add a pins and links channel, so for posting videos like mine or spreadsheets, and maybe also down the road, there's a rewards bot that will actually put the reward locations inside of your rewards channel. That's a whole nother thing. I'm not going to talk about that in this video because it does take a little bit of know-how to set up. However, I might make a separate video for that depending on how much feedback I get. The voice channels, I don't really think you need to worry about those. However, if you want to add more voice channels, it's the same thing. You press create channel and you can name the channel whatever you want. And also, if you don't like the name of a channel, you can press the settings button next to it and edit all sorts of stuff about it. You can edit the name, you can edit the topic of the channel, which will show up right underneath the name right there. But yeah, that's it. Now you've got a pretty fleshed out server right here. Now the thing that's really going to make it good is roles. So to add roles, we will right click on the server icon, and then we will go to server settings, and we can go down to roles. There. Now, there's a standard role that comes with every server out of the box. It's everyone. Everybody gets this role, even though it doesn't show up. To ping a role, you just type in @ followed by the name of the role. You can also give special privileges and permissions to certain roles, and also block certain roles from being able to see different channels. So to get started, you want to create some really basic roles. We'll just create 4 new roles right here. The first ones are Guild Leader, Officer, General, and Champion of the Guild, or just Champion. You can give these roles different colors if you want in order to differentiate them better. Now let's get started with giving permissions to the roles. So for Guild Leader, you just want to go ahead and click Administrator Privileges. This will give anybody with the Guild Leader tag the ability to mess with anything. You already have this privilege as the creator of the server. However, if the guild leader is not you, then you can go ahead and give that to them. And then officers can have pretty high privileges too. You can either give them administrator privileges if you trust them, or go ahead and click through the privileges that you want to give them. You can give them the ability to kick and ban members, manage channels, and that would be editing and creating new channels, editing and creating new roles, editing the server in general, and all sorts of other stuff. But the ones that I went over are really the main things you need to worry about. For the general, you can give slightly decreased privileges if you want, or just no privileges at all. And for champion, I would say no privileges at all. This is really just to help you differentiate who is a champion and who is not. However, the cool thing you can do with champion tag is you can go ahead and go to Guild War or Guild War assignments. And if you're a higher up guild, or if you're just in the middle and you have a lot of people visiting who are not from your guild, maybe from opposing guilds or enemy guilds, and you don't want them to see your battle plans, then you can go ahead and edit the channel and then go to permissions. Now in the everyone tab, go ahead and click X on create invite, manage channel, manage permissions, manage webhooks, read, send messages, send TTS messages, manage messages in general, and that should pretty much do it. Now, if you have the everyone role and no other role that overrides this, you will be unable to see or do anything in this channel. Now you go ahead and add the champion role in, and you allow them to read and send messages and all the stuff that we did not allow the everyone role to do. Now if you have a champion role, you can see everything inside of this channel perfectly fine, and nobody else can, except for obviously an administrator, and if you give anybody else permission to see this channel the way that I just did with the champion tab. This is a very easy way of locking channels so that only a few people can view them. However, the channel will still appear on the channel list, so they'll still know it's there, they just won't be able to see anything inside of it. So that's pretty much it. Now you got yourself a working Discord server with some roles on the side. Also, if you want to add a role to somebody, just go ahead and press their icon on the side and press the add a role button, and then you can go ahead and add whichever roles on that you want. And once again, if you want to get into the settings and change any of this at any time, go ahead, right click the server icon, go to server settings, and you can press overview to see an entire menu of things that you can change. Now let's move on to the mobile version of Discord. The mobile version is a little more compact, however that makes it a lot harder to maneuver around and mess with stuff inside. So here we are inside of the mobile Discord app. Once again, we can go to the plus button to add a new server. Forgive me for the weird layout. I'm using BlueStacks on my computer to film this. Now you can upload a picture if you want to. This will be your channel icon instead of just the average channel icon, which is the initials of your channel name. And I'm sorry, I meant to say server that whole time. Then you can name your server whatever you want, and you can change this in the server settings, which we will get to in a second. Now we can see the different channels by pressing this menu button right here, and we can add channels just like normal. We can go ahead and add whatever channels we want. So like in the desktop version, you want to add, you have your general channel already, I believe. Okay, so you already do. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, let's keep going. One of my least favorite things about creating a server on Discord mobile is having to go back through and click through every single time you want to add a new channel. Now you have general, war assignments, you want to add a rewards channel, and you want to add a tactics channel, and if you want, a pins and links channel. Okay, and if you skipped to the mobile version and didn't watch the desktop version, I'm going to explain what each of these are for. General is just for general chat. War is for talking about what's going on in the guild war. War assignments is for assigning the targets in war. Rewards is for posting the daily reward missions or special event reward missions. Tactics is for talking about hero and titan tactics. And pins and links is for posting videos and graphs. You can add voice channels by doing the same thing that I did with the text channels. However, you probably won't need them. Now, to further mess with the server, you have to press this 3 ellipses thing up here, and you have this. Then you want to go to server settings. Now we can look at all the different things. We're going to mess with roles. Where are the roles? Here are the roles under user management. So you have the average at everyone, which is just a basic role given to everybody in Discord who joins a server. You can add more roles by pressing the blue plus button. You can name the role. We're going to make 4 different roles. We're going to make champion role for your champions of the guild. We're going to make a guild leader role, an officer role, and a general role. And I'm just going to skip ahead because this takes a long time. Okay, there we go. And I don't know if I said champion instead of guildmaster before I skipped ahead. Sometimes my mouth moves too fast for my brain to understand. Anyway, now we have our basic 4 roles right here. Guildmaster, officer, general, and champion. Guildmaster is for obviously the guildmaster, officer is for any officers you might have in your guild, and general is for any generals you might have in your guild. And champion is for all 15 champions, depending on whether or not they join your server. If you didn't watch the desktop tutorial and you just skipped ahead, there are permissions that you can give to each role. So you go ahead and click the role, and you can go down to role settings. Administrator is the highest permissions that you can give. This gives a person complete and total access to your server. I would give this to the guildmaster position and the officer position, and make sure that you trust the officers because they can literally just disband the entire server with the administrator privileges. Then you can go ahead and give general whatever you want, and champion we're going to talk about in a second. If you want to change the color of the role names, which is something you can do, go ahead, press the role, go to role color, you can go ahead and click that, and you can do whatever you want. You can get a nice purple, you can get a custom color, and just select that, and that will change the color of the name of the role. To give a role to somebody inside of your guild, you have to press this button that looks like 2 people, and you will see a list of everybody inside the guild. Now you just tap the person you want to give the role to, scroll down, press manage user, and go to roles, and you can just check whichever roles you want them to have. So there we go. Now we have all of the channels and all of the roles set up. Now I'm going to show you how to lock a channel using roles. Let's go to war assignments. You can do this with both war and war assignments. If you don't want your basic people who aren't champions to see your war plans, or if you have people visiting from other servers or other guilds that are on your server and you don't want them to see your war plans, this is a very easy way to just go ahead and lock them up. You want to go to the server menu and hold down on whichever channel you want to mess with, then go to edit channel. Then we're going to go down to the permissions under user management. Now we will add a role. We will be adding the champion role. However, you can do this with whichever role you want. You will allow the champion to send messages and send text-to-speech messages and read the text channel and see the voice channel. Now you want to save your changes. Whenever you alter anything inside of Discord, you want to go ahead and save the changes. Usually Discord will tell you whether or not you're going on without saving something, but always keep an eye out when you're changing something. Now you want to go back. You want to go to the everyone role, and you want to disallow them from sending text-to-speech messages, sending normal messages, and reading the text channel, and save this. Now what this has basically just done is if you do not have the champion role, or if you are not an administrator, you are both unable to see anything that is written inside of this channel, and you're also unable to write inside of the channel. And now you can see that there is a little lock over the hashtag next to the name of the channel. You can do this with any channel you want, and you can do this with any role you want. So that's basically it. Now you have your entire channel built and ready to go. If you need any more clarification, there are a ton of Discord how-to videos on YouTube. I will try to find one that I think is the best and put that in the description down below in case any of you want to check that out. Now, if you've actually stayed through the entire video, there's a thing on Discord called server templates. And this is a thing where you can create a server and then create a template. And you can share this with people and they can use that template to create their own server. I'm going to attempt to figure this out, and if I do, I will post the invitation link to the template down below. Basically, you just watch this entire video, and if you watch it to the end, you don't actually have to do any of this stuff yourself as long as I can figure it out for you. You can always alter anything you want within the template. It will not change the actual template. It will only change the server you created from it. So, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and drop a like down below, and if you like my content in general, go ahead and subscribe, and until next time, keep on dominating.